Hello, everyone. Just give us a second. Okay, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Anastasia Korotkaya. I'm a Genius of Finance project manager, and I'm going to tell you everything there is to know about the gamified training simulator, Genius of Finance. How to conduct a game, how to play it, how to make money off it, and why it was created in the first place. Let's go to the next slide, please. Today, I would like to talk to you about the following questions. And I know that here we have a host that already conducted the game, hosted that game. And today we're going to look into the following list of questions, like, do you know what the business simulator Genius of Finance is for? How many games a week do you play? What are your results? What are you already good at? What questions arise during the training? How do you promote yourself as a presenter, and so on? If you are ready, you can ask those questions in the chat, and you can raise your hand, and you will be given the microphone, and we can have a chat, and we would like to see what kind of questions you have and what you would like to get from the course and the game. You can write your questions either in the chat or you can raise your hand. Let's see whether we have any questions. And let's see if you have any questions, problems during the game itself or during the preparation for the game. And how do you promote yourself as the host of the game, as a presenter, and what kind of results you have managed to achieve so far on how much money you are able to make off the game, and which ways to make money or raise money you already know. So this is, I guess, will be like a Q&A session. So guys, you can ask. I mean, either write it in the chat or like speak up, because I don't want to be just a monologue, me talking all the time. We need to discuss it. We need to do something to make sure that the game is promoted worldwide and you promote it as the Genius of Finance host. So guys, any feedback, any questions? Well, maybe you are still thinking about what kind of, okay, can I give you the mic? Let me see. Let me make you the host of the Chris Crasfeller. Можно, извините? Chris, you have the floor. Yeah.
Good evening from Australia. Yes, I did the original course 3 years ago. I think there was a total of about 11 Australians. How we were promoting it, I was one of the few promoting it in Australia. We used to either a Saturday or Sunday, we used to rent an office, and we had a few people come. Now we haven't got that office. I've got to arrange to find another place for it. How do you promote it in your country? Did you catch my question, Dennis? Rubber Dennis?
Yes. It takes time to translate and then to
Oh,
provide the
sorry,
feedback.
sorry.
But yeah, it's okay.
I'm jumping the
Now,
gun.
Anastasia is writing down your questions right now. I understand that the questions that you have asked right now will surely be of interest to other countries as well. For now, the way we're doing our promotion, we are piloting or testing some of the techniques in Russia and Europe. So we have several ways of promoting it. For example, in Moscow, there is this platform called TimePad. It's something like a poster board, like for the game boards in Russia, in Moscow, sorry. So it's like a platform where you can post your announcements saying that at this time, at this place, a game will be held at this fee. And you can go to that platform, and people interested can go into that platform and pay on it right away, directly. Also, we're actively using social media like Instagram, because it's quite a popular social network in Russia. We're using TikTok as well to attract new audience, new people. The next way for promotion is active cooperation with bloggers or people that are directly or indirectly related to trainings, business trainings, with the target audience that is quite similar to our target audience. It can be, as I said, business forums and business platforms. And since it's a business simulator, so the target audience is quite the same, because those people might later on be interested in the courses delivered by the Academy of a Private Investor. Those people might be interested in investing into our projects, our token, or any other companies in our ecosystem. The next way we promote our game and ourselves is so-called business lunches. And usually at the business lunches, they give you time to introduce yourself. And I introduce myself as the Genius of Finance host. And that's also participation in events, expos, fairs with business topics in Moscow. And since we are located in Moscow city, it's like a business downtown of Moscow, with lots of companies and people who are interested in the development, business games as well. It's like a simulator or a training tool for your brain. And they often invite us over to their office, and we present the game in their offices. Then they come to our offices to play. So this is the kind of exchange we have. Also, we have hosts in Moscow, sorry, and we have active communication among ourselves. For example, if I were able to invite 10, 15 people at the same time, I cannot really put them at my table all together. And that's why I share those players with other hosts, and they do the same for me. We are going to build the clear-cut algorithm, how we're doing it, and then we will share that algorithm with you guys. And I have researched the global market. I have a table of different platforms in the United States, Australia, Eurasia, the table with the most popular platforms and sites, and we can use them to promote for promotion purposes. I hope I answered your question.
Oh, you did a great job. I've got two games, one in English and one in Vietnamese, because we didn't have a Chinese one. So I'm working on the Vietnamese as well. Have you got many people in Vietnam playing the game?
Well, as far as the Vietnam is concerned, I'm, yes, preparing the algorithm and the collection of, let's say, the set of websites that we can use that are quite similar to the ones that we use here in Russia. But our, let's say, promotional materials need to be adapted to the mentality and mindset of the Asian market. So we are finalizing this, and very soon we will share all the marketing materials that we have, like pictures, slides, copy, texts, that we're going to give you as, like, let's say, templates. Then you can make your own changes to it, maybe put some soul, personality into it, like your values, your beliefs, so that we wouldn't be all using the same material, but there would be a piece of you in those materials. You know what I mean?
Okay, Spasibo. Thank you very much.
By the way, did you fill in the landing forms for hosts? We have this form for landings, and I didn't see the forum for Vietnam.
Tonight. I've been super busy today, so yeah, after this webinar I'll be doing that. Thank you.
Please do so, and we will post it on our website, because yes, the people are asking and we don't have any data yet, but we will join efforts and we'll do it really quickly, because it takes 1, 2, maximum 3 days to develop a landing and post it. Do we have any other questions? Let me read the chats. Yes, we have a question from the Spanish chat. So the Spanish partner says that I wonder, how do we pay taxes on it, and what about the banking loan interest? So Anastasia says, like, the first question is, how do you pay tax on the fees that you charge your players? No, I think we're talking about the game itself. During the game, how do we identify the bank interest loans for the credits that you take during the game? Anastasia says, I recommend using the bank interest rates that are applicable in Spain, the average one. For example, in Russia, it's like 16% per year in the Russian currency, Russian ruble. So I guess you have to simply Google it up and see what's the average bank interest rate in the country that you play the game in. Or, for example, if the host feels that the level of the players is quite high, the skill level, or you have a specific task, for example, then you can use any tax or interest rate. For example, you can come up with the Venezuelan interest rate and see what the players do if put in such conditions, when they're put in a completely unfamiliar economic, financial, and political and taxation environment. I hope I answered your question. So what about taxes? Well, we need to see the tax rate in your country and use the taxes that you have in your countries. Unfortunately, I don't know the tax rate in Spain. So it's the partner from Costa Rica. So you need to, learn what is the average tax rate. You can use any tax rate that you want to use for your script. if this is the way you decided, if, for example, if you decide to use a flat tax rate, use a flat tax rate. If you decided to use another tax rate, then at least explain to the players why you decided to change the tax rate. There is the message from Nancy Iga. She says that it's been a year and she hasn't received her 2 boxes of Genius of Finance. She bought it with GoPro package in December and February. She wrote several times to the support. They asked her to send the screenshots. She did it like 5 times and they haven't yet sent it. So what country you're from? She's from Peru, Lima. Yes, I know about this problem because there was a lockdown and games. We started shipping games to Peru just a couple of weeks ago. Before that, we simply couldn't do that. So you can write to Valeria or to the support and see if they shipped your game, but they started shipping them for sure. So I explained the whole taxation thing. The tax rates are specified on the cards themselves. So, and all the incomes are net, and it can be, you can read it from the bank card, from the opportunity cards, that it's net. It's already after taxes. So the next question for you is, what is a professional host? So what do you understand by this term? So what kind of qualities a professional host needs to have, or whom you can call a professional host of the gamified business simulator, Genius of Finance? So guys, this is still like an open discussion, so you can, ask for the mic and we can discuss it, or write it in the chat and we will translate it for you. Oh, guys, let me explain to you how we're going to have this kind of webinars. So what I want to have from you is answers. I want you to, activate your brain. I don't want our lectures to be only me talking. I would like you to start building new neuronic connections. If then, cause and effect. For example, if you are a host, then you do this, this, and this. And if you do this, this, and this, then you can be considered a professional host. And then if the person meets all the professional host criteria, then you can recommend that person to your relatives, friends, and so on. So someone says attractive person, has good observation skills, knows from A to Z, a person who conducted more than 10 games, know all the inside out of the game and can give feedback. Okay, so we have some feedback in the Russian chat. Guys, in the English, don't let us down, come on. So the presenter's position or the host position is everything that you've just enumerated. And also, as I wrote in the chat, the host is always responsible, is aware, and ready to provide feedback. So they are, during the game, responsible for the entire gameplay, how the game is conducted. Like who came to the game, what kind of scenarios they're going to play out, how they keep track of the dreams fulfillment, players' dreams fulfillment, because you remember, every player coming to the game, they tell you, I came to this game in order to buy myself like a yacht in 1 year for $7 million. Like, it's a dream, you know. And now the host can walk the player through the process to help them take the necessary actions for them to actually achieve their dream, so that the person would not simply come, play the game, and then leave like, what should I do next? No, they need to know that after they leave the game, they know what to do next in order to buy that yacht for $7 million in 1 year. In other words, if there are 8 players in the game, the host walks around, gives feedback, makes sure that all the players do what it needs to be taken, whether they stick to the allocated time, whether the players perform the function that is set before them, and so on, or are on the track towards their goal. And also, presenters should have an unconditional belief in their players. They should believe that the players have the potential to achieve the goal that they announced. So if the person is honest about their dream, if they have courage to announce it, then they should have enough energy to achieve that game. And the host needs to do their best to create the necessary environment in which the player would be able to tap into their potential and achieve their result, the result that they announced in the beginning of the game.
Next slide, please. And meanwhile, I'm reading your comments. There is a question. If the game lasts longer than 2 hours planned, what should I do? Which answer would you give to the same question?
Continue the game.
Please, once again. Chris, say it again.
I would continue the game. I've had some games gone up to 5-6 hours. But I always ask permission of the players. Would you like to continue? Most people are excited they will, but some people maybe have only a 2 or 3 hour time frame, so they might not continue. But I always ask permission. Okay, with 2 hours is up, would you like to continue or would you like to stop? 90% of the time, they always want to continue, because after 2 hours, they're very excited. They can see when they first started, and after 2 hours, they're getting some result, and they're very, very happy with the game. So that's what I do, but I don't know, other people have different opinion.
I have a question. Why do you give 2 hours to play a game? Is it a demo version? Because the minimum timing to play it is at least 3 hours, and 2 hours is a demo version, or they are the players who have been playing this game for several times and they are good at completing all these sheets. And this is the matter of a host, to give the timing from 3 to 5 years, or hours, 3 or 5 hours. So this is the first time people come and see this game. And if I give the timing of 2 hours, then they cannot actually reach their goal, but they will understand the basics of the game and will understand whether they want to attend another game, a full-fledged game, they will devote 4 or 5 hours of their life, but it will change something in their life. My experience suggests when a person spends 5 hours and says, cool, and it turns out the investment is not very difficult, but I didn't know it. I thought that only bankers could do investing. But actually, it turns out that everyone can do it. What should I do now? Then you give them 8 rules of a private investor. And the next question a person generally asks, where should I bring my money to? Please explain. I want to explore it more. This is the matter of a host. So I am always for the truth. If you announce 2 hours, then actually this is your issue, why you go beyond the timing set. Or if you announce the timing of 5 hours and you see that there was a longer break and you would go beyond the timing, then inform and warn in advance whether the people are ready to stay for 20, 30 minutes longer. Then if yes, you may continue, but then if not, then you as a host must do everything to fit the timing set. So you may roll several die, for instance. So you speed up the process of the game. Okay.
Yes, Olga, you are correct. 2 hours is a demo. So I've had people come for the demo and got excited. They said, can we play longer? Can we play longer? And we, of course, continue. So yeah, the 2 hours is a demo, but we average usually 3 to 4 hour games.
Okay, so the topic is rapport. This is the state now we are talking, communicating, and we build the rapport. You understand who I am, I understand who I'm talking to, and we create some environment, some space, and a person either trusts or not trusts. And finances is quite a sensitive topic, and not everyone who starts playing will be ready to openly discuss his real material standing, financial standing with the strangers, disclose this information. But look, this person plays this game not for me, but first of all for himself. And the more honest he is to himself, the greater the result will be. The task of the host is to sit all the players at the table and to introduce as a host. And you will say, I'm a coach psychologist, and if you have some issues with personal psychology or coaching, you may get in contact with me, and it will cost so much. Each of you has some background, and the host may sell it, not by playing the game only, but for instance, there are those who graduated from Invest Consultant training course. So you may offer your service, your counseling services, for instance. And when your players are at the table, they must introduce who they are, why they came here, and you will build this trustworthy environment, and there will be more miracles, and you will see it as a host. People will not see it, will notice this, but there will be people who will be ready to talk openly about them. So they may, even in their thinking, they may not be ready to open up so much. If a person says that my dream is to earn 5,000 to 6,000 a month, So it's true that you must help such a person to reach his result. Or if a person's dream is to earn 1 billion a month or 20 days, and the host, you dream big, so you don't believe actually his dream. First of all, you must believe the player. When a person says that I'm ready to earn as much, at present, I'm earning 500 million and would like to earn 1 billion. And you as a host says, well, and we will create this space. And the host must monitor this, as once said before. So I'm short of time, or time expired, and a person leaves without distracting others. You create this space environment, or if you see that someone feels bored or he starts being distracted, so the host must keep an eye on each player and see what is going on. Someone feels bored, someone is confused. And while all the others are busy reading or calculating, you approach this person and asks him what is not clear. Maybe he made a mistake while calculating. You will explain, and you see, so that he is full of energy again. He's back to the process and he participates in transactions, in deals. And you ask a question, for instance, a person rolled a dice, and you know that this card gives much more opportunities. Then you ask a question, what could you do in a different way? And you asked other players, and they will give some other ideas, generate ideas, brainstorm these ideas. It's important to make each person reach his targeted result. So the key role of the host is to ask a right question timely. So if you notice something, you may not ask this question right away, but take your time to ask this question. And rapport is either established or is not established. You are trusted as a host or you are not trusted. If you failed to build it in the beginning, then the players you failed to build rapport are lost. Okay. Any questions about rapport building?
No, that was explained very well.
So someone wrote down that the second place in the game is a super result. Thank you, Chris, for your feedback. Okay, so exercising. Can you please turn on your camera? Chris, are you ready to participate in demo? Chris, or anyone else from our room? But please turn on your camera if possible.
Goodness. Ah, I look terrible. Okay. Hang on. No, you haven't. I'm not able to turn my camera on at this stage. Oh, okay.
Chris, so you are volunteer number 1. Do we have anyone else from the English room? Can we ask someone else so that I'd like to see how you build your rapport. Masichlabisi, could you be the second volunteer, please, to speed up the process?
Okay, Anastasia, hello. Yes, I will.
Hello, Nasa.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah, I still
On
unable.
my camera because it's not accessible here.
Yeah, we got rain here too. Maybe that's the trouble. Mm.
So Anastasia says that we need someone with the camera on. So Chris Masihla-Bisi, so she would like to have the participants with their cameras on.
Yeah, sorry, I
Okay.
don't know why my camera.
Okay, my camera is on now. I
Okay.
hope so. But it says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Yes, that's what mine says.
Chris,
Yes.
let's do it this way because Anastasia insists on the camera to be on. So Masihla-Bisi will be our volunteer number 1 and Anastasia will be volunteer number 2. Okay.
I'm happy. I'm very happy with that.
Okay, good, great.
Okay. Okay. Hello, Anastasia. How are
Masihla-Bisi,
you?
wait a minute. We're still arranging this
Okay, all right.
housekeeping matters, how to do it. Because you are in the English room and Anastasia is in the Russian room. But she wants to see your face.
Thanks, Olga.
Just guys, wait a second, okay? Because we would like to screen share.
Okay, Denise.
Okay, preferably it should be from the same room with both cameras on. So let's see if the organizers will come up with some solution.
Okay, so Masihla-Bisi, sorry for bothering you. We cannot do it technically, so therefore we won't exercise. So the task is the following. You actually wrap your fist and the other person is to unlock this fist. And this is how the rapport is built for each member. If you can do it easily and simply, you well done. So next slide, please.
Okay.
This one. I will give you the topic about the position of perception. So these are diverse points of view that could be perceived by the person. I will explain. The first position of perception is I see everything with my own eyes. I see everyone from my point of view. In my head, it is impossible, unrealistic to earn 1 billion a month. If a person says, I want 1 billion, and the host says it's unrealistic, so something should be done to the host. So the host must change his perception to become more professional, to become a better professional. And the dynamic switching of your perception gives you a possibility to manage the states and improve communication inside at the table. What I mean, I am a host. So this is my first position, my first perception. I perceive the situation as a host. The second perception or type of perception, I perceive it from the point of view of other participants. So I am a host, but I try to put myself into the shoes of another player. How does he or she feel? If he or she feels comfortable, I adapt, adjust to his gestures, mimics, and I think. So the host actually explains how to complete the sheets, but I am confused, but I will not say this. If the host manages to put himself into the shoes of another person, then when he comes back to his own position, so he understands where the problem is and which question to ask to help a person better understand investing, taxes, or how to calculate the rate of return on the share, or to calculate the liquidity rate, and etc. The host must control all this. And where such cases at the table, a person has been playing for 4 hours, and there are no breaks made by the host. Yes, everyone is excited, but there is one person willing to go to the toilet, and it is clear that he feels uncomfortable. The host must actually notice this and be proactive so that you improve communication at the table. Or you may notice the following situation. When a person introduces himself by using the third person, so this is the first perception. For instance, he says, when you do this, when in life you work hard, and then you get $200 as your remuneration. When a person doesn't believe what you say, when a person doesn't believe in his success, that he would reach it, and therefore I must speak from the first person, not the third person. And when I do these actions, I don't believe that they will lead to the results. When a person says so, it is treated in a more personalized way, and a person may understand what is wrong with him. And for instance, when you talk about yourselves by saying you are like a bit remote. And when you say, I do these actions and they lead to these results, this is a totally different level of responsibility. A person says, I want to earn 1 billion, but I don't believe. Then you ask a question, what do you need to do for you to believe? The answer, I must become a professional. I must take the Prof Investor and Invest Consultant course and earn 10,000, and then I will feel that I believe. So this is a straightforward way. I will take these actions and then I will believe, and they will take me to my desired result. It's very important to learn how to shift quickly from the first position of perception to the second one. There are 8 players at the table, so you may shift or put yourself into the shoes of the first, second, third, 8th player. Please tell me, is it clear what I mean here, what I was talking about here?
Yes, very clear.
Very clear.
Great. Next slide. Then we move on. We have the third position, and that is an observer or a camera. You are remote with no emotions. You observe the situation and you observe you as a host. So whether the players feel good at the table, you quickly give yourself the feedback with no emotions so that your perception is not blurred by your emotions. And the fourth position is we as a system, as the as a team. So which environment have we created? So first of all, each participant contributes, makes his contribution, and what we have eventually as a system, one comprehensive organism. So participants are very important. You know it from your experience how vital sometimes it is when other players give some tips, some advice, and it can be change the way of thinking. And a person, it could be done this way. So before that, the person have never thought of such a possibility, but whereas he get this option from someone else and starts acting in a totally different way. And this way you actually generate this trusty environment and space, and you generate or brainstorm ideas. So therefore, it's very important to maintain this spirit at your table so that there are more solutions, more ideas shared and brainstormed. Next slide, please. I think it's clear. While it is downloading, this is the circle of communication. How is information processed? The information we receive. Each person, any inputs are processed from the point of view of your life experience, and all the people are divided into kinesthetic personalities, those who like to touch everything. Do we have such people who find it important to touch the cards, the game pieces? If we have such people at the table, so now it's Zoom, when people at the table, so the host reads out, but the person finds it's difficult to understand. What is the role of the host? To give the card to such a player, you see visually that he does not filter the information. Then you give him a card into his hand and he needs to touch it, to read it on his own, and then he may understand, and only then he processes the information. You must identify such people at the table and understand it. And in 1-2 circles, rounds maximum, you may find such people. It's important to give the card to them, to their hands. Did you notice such players sometimes? It's very important, because if a person does not understand information, it will be senseless for him. And we have visuals, so they need to read the text on their own. Only then they will understand and notice this and give the cards to them. So audials, those who are good at hearing you. Someone says, and they actually start understanding this. So it's easy for them when you speak out the information. And in the game, they will be faster because of this peculiarity they have. It's easier for them to calculate the numbers. What happens next? There was an event in Dubai. Then when you hear some information, and then each card, so someone writes down that all my players would like to touch these game pieces, cards. not everyone, but there are such people, and everyone receives the information in a different way. There are some people who treat this information as a professional. For instance, there are those who receive the information from the point of view of the occupation they play in the game. For instance, I'm a lawyer and give me the money, I'd like to sell it. And if a lawyer, and for instance, there are some disputes at a game, and one girl was a lawyer and she says, I can help you. And she immediately realized that she can sell her law skills to actually protect the one of the player. So that the host gives the full amount of money without any reductions. Culture and mentality. This is another important peculiarity. Not every culture actually is accepts investing because of its cultural peculiarities, and the perception is based on their beliefs. If I don't believe in cryptocurrency, this is fake. No matter what you do, you will not persuade him. Whereas the cut is good. Why do you refuse this project? The price is low, dividends are paid, or there is some news on the market and there is a growth by 100, 250%, and a person says, this is fake, this is scam, I don't believe it.
That's why it is very important to notice such people and try to change their mind. The professional host needs to prove them and show them that investing is not scary and it's accessible. It's not a fake, and any person can learn to do that. They need to show how this market works, and they need to deliver the information in such a way, comprehensible way, that a person, understands something, starts figuring it out, but could really understand how to calculate their return on capital investing using the cards and the game opportunities on the board, that your $10 invested turned out to bring you 50 and you did nothing. You just received your passive income, and you need to show them that that's how it works in real life. And you share your examples, your case studies as well, because all hosts, I'm sure, have their own investment portfolios and they have stories to share. For example, I invest in cryptocurrencies on Binance. I can open my phone and show my trading history and show them what kind of results I achieved. And I'm sure everyone can share the same, or the success in your career in the company, that you started with nothing, with zero, and now you have achieved quite considerable heights. In other words, you tell them what kind of actions you took that brought you to this kind of point, and then you can tell them, if you want me to, I can teach you how to do that. Anastasia, we have a question from the Spanish chat: how to work with people with the, what do you call it, attention deficit syndrome? What do you mean, how to work with them, with people with attention disorder syndrome? Well, how to, play with them, how to host games with people that cannot retain their attention. Well, can you give me a specific case and I will tell you how I would have handled it, because otherwise the question is too general. Let's wait for the translation to reach the Spanish partner. Okay, while we're waiting for the answer, I'm not sure about this particular case, but I'll try to handle the general questions. So I'm sorry, we have the feedback. For example, a person does not really hears your instructions, or gets distracted all the time. So what you can do in this situation, you explain them how to fill in your balance sheet cards. Everyone understood and they didn't. While the first player throws the dice, or the die, you as a host can pull the card from the deck and give it to them and tell them, and give to the player who threw the dice and tell them, read it out. And at the same time, you go to the person with the attention deficit disorder and make sure that they understand what's going on, and try to explain, work with them. And for example, if you know that this person has attention deficit disorder, you keep looking at them from time to time, and it will be enough for them. You call out their names if necessary, ask them, how are you? Is everything is okay? Are you still are we still in the same page? And if you ask them like this randomly once in a while, it won't be distracting for other players, and it will help you solve the problem of the attention deficit disorder. But if you are a coach, psychologist, and you have the tools necessary to work with such people, you can use those tools and see whether you can help them out and whether those people will be willing to work with you on an individual basis. Maybe you will give them some private sessions. Okay, so what else we have? I guess we can go to the next slide while we don't have any questions. Just give us a second. And we can go to the next slide because we already talked about different types of learners. Also, by the way, there is a digital representative system. In other words, when a person has everything, should have everything in its place, and they are very meticulous. They make bullet points for everything. They meticulously fill in all the forms. And for example, if you're giving them an example and your handwriting is not orderly, it won't be good for them. So for those people, you need to put down a formula, how things are calculated. And it will be easier for them to perceive some like clear-cut instructions, A, B, C. If you do that, you get that, because everything, they have a structured thinking, everything in its place, and everything is in order. I see someone raise their hand in the Russian chat, so let's hear them out. Anyone? Just give us a second. Just give us a second. We are patching in our partner on the Russian room. Meanwhile, is it clear for everyone why we should know about different types of learners, people that are audio learners, tactile learners, visual learners, digital learners? This is very important because we need to know how to deal with those people. And you will strengthen your positions as a host if you notice such things. The player will see, wow, this host is really attentive, gives me his time, and it will help you become closer with the players, and you will help them tap into their potential even faster. Let's go to the next slide, please. And they will trust you, trust your skills and your expertise. And well, this is it, I guess. If you have questions, you still have time to ask those questions. And we will later on look into different game situations and opportunity business cards and so on. So it was supposed to be 1 hour session, And yes, write down your questions, and the more detailed and on-point questions you have, the higher the quality of my trainings. Okay, then. We will next month set up a call among hosts, and we will share what kind of situation we have in different countries in order to improve the sales, improve the customer traffic. And I have a question, by the way. Would you like to receive some more information and on the game situations, gameplays, and the cards in the game? Or would you like to invite a marketologist, a market expert, and see what kind of marketing materials we have? I suggest we have a session with a market specialist or marketing specialist for them to see what kind of promotional materials they'll have. And while we will be discussing how to improve the game and the whole promotion aspect, and then we'll have yet another meeting with the marketologist, and they will help you with building your personal brand. They will explain to you how to set up and configure your social media accounts, how often you should make posts in it, what kind of sales funnels work and what doesn't, how much advertising integration costs, for you to know what you should expect and what of the instruments suits your purpose. We have a question here in the Spanish room. Is there any kind of a deadline for answering the test questions? Well, there is no deadline as such. Just work at your own pace, because the sooner you do it, the easier it will be for you to work together with hosts who are already hosting lots of games. And you will ask more detailed questions after you do that. And I and my colleagues will gladly share our successful experience and tell you what we do in this or that situation. So yes, someone says, yes, let's invite a market specialist first, and then we can move on. I agree with you, because for now, I haven't yet received enough forms filled by you for the landing pages, and I also follow your social media accounts, but I don't see any announcements of the games. I know that you are a lawyer, or sorry, that you are a game host, but because you are in the company, but otherwise I wouldn't know that you host games and that you are a Genius of Finance host. So you need to make yourself more visible. And we also need to make money on from things that we spent money on. In other words, you bought the game, you bought the training course for the host, so you need to announce your name to the world and make a statement. And the sooner you do it, the sooner you will start making money off it. I guess we can call it a day now. And do we have any further questions, guys? Anything, because that's what you're here for.
I've got a question to statement.
Есть еще вопросы, извините. Yes, Chris.
Thank you very much for your time. Excellent training. I'm very, very impressed with your style. There's about three of us, I think, today from Australia on the call. But yeah, I love your training. It's a little bit different to 3 years ago, but very, very interesting.
So it was more like a comment, not a really question, right?
Yeah, comment.
Okay, good. Thanks for the feedback. And If those of you guys who are already certified hosts, I would like you to write in the chat your impressions. What are your expectations? Did you already achieve some of those expectations? And I will be waiting for your comments and proposals in the chat, and I will like process them, and then I will start like developing some quality products for us to have a really good start, like a takeoff. I know that we have among our ranks very powerful hosts, and we need to announce ourselves to the outside world. So guys, I would like to wish you a nice day, and let's thank our moderators and interpreters. You are doing a very important job. Okay, thank you, and bye-bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Uncle Dennis. Thank you, Olga.
Okay, you're welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. Thank you, Olga. Thank you, Denise.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
Good
to
to see you,
all the
Master.
interpreters. Thanks, Chris.
See you.
Bye
Stay
bye.
blessed.
Have a nice
Bye.
day. The same to you. Bye
Have
bye.
a blessed day.
Yeah.
Bye.